Yippee! Anyways. So, astrology. Yep, that's what oh god. I don't think I'm qualified. No, I did not find that orbital planetary pattern. I know what you're talking about. It's been a week. I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely been focused on other things. Hi, bud. I didn't forget. It's on my notepad. It's off to the side. I just genuinely have had some other pressing things that are on my mind. So, oh, just joshing. I'm careful. I'm very delicate right now. As much as I am being silly, it's been kind of an intense week for me. So, we're making it through. Okay. Now that I can settle into myself and be present. Thank you. I'm doing my best. Okay, talking about astrology for the week ahead. That's what we do on this live stream. I did actually do a live like a couple days ago. Yeah, this guy is definitely the divine meowskillin. Yeah. We'll flatter in the name of astrology. Welcome. Okay, so as far as astrology goes for this week, there's a lot that's surfacing and we're going to dive into it. So I spoke to Mercury not squaring. That's a trining Chiron today. That's going to be happening. That happened earlier in the day today. So we're going to jump into what to expect for the rest of the week. Tomorrow is officially September 1st. And for a lot of y'all, that's what, Labor Day, right? It's Labor Day. People get the day off. Not me. I'm always on the clock for God. So on Monday, the 1st of September, Saturn stations retrograde into Pisces. So it's been retrograding and it's going to move back into Pisces. And how quick is it going to run you to study your chart? If you study your chart yourself, it's free. It's just going to cost you time. From me, my readings, it just depends. I have different offerings. So it just depends on what you're looking for. On Tuesday, Mercury will enter Virgo. Yay. On Wednesday, Mercury is going to be squaring Uranus. On Thursday, Mars is going to be squaring Jupiter. And then on Friday, Uranus stations retrograde. And then on the 7th, we have that lunar eclipse full moon in Pisces happening, which there's going to be an entirely different video that I share about that. No, I'm doing it. Remember you said you will tie-dye on them. Oh, that's fair. Yes, I will absolutely read your chart. You'll just have to book with me. You can check out the link in my bio. That's where all my offerings are. I have a lot of different things. So if it's not like specifically a natal chart reading you're looking for, I have card readings too. Everything's there. And if you're not signed up to my newsletter, sign up to my newsletter. Yeah, that's true. My friend did back me up, not you. But I did a lot of readings this week. I've done over 4 or 5. I have another one tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm booked. I'm booked and busy. So definitely get on my schedule if you're wanting to grab a reading from me. So I'm going to share my screen on Twitch. But let me slap my calendar over there. And I do want to get some exact dates here about... Cool. That's what I thought. Okay. You can ask your guides, but... Aw, thank you. Definitely already. So that's perfect. Fair. Slip it up. I appreciate you in that. I love the prompts when my other friends go live. It's like, watch them. Hey Cassie, welcome. All right, if you're on TikTok, I would definitely recommend jumping over to Twitch because I share my screen on Twitch. For whatever reason, TikTok just doesn't let me do that. So yeah, so let's go ahead and jump over here. Welcome. Okay. Let me squash that in a little bit more. Oh no, I didn't bring up my epic pen. There we go. Yes. Yeah, Twitch is a great platform. You'll have to make an account to comment, but I like showing my screen and showing what's happening. Like, I can try to do it on TikTok, but they just like, they get mad at me for doing that. Okay, sounds good. Definitely hanging out on Twitch. Let's see. My cat's scratching at my door, like the screen door, and I hate that. Okay. This is today, and let's go ahead and jump over to here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is Saturn in Pisces. So I spoke a bit to Saturn retrograding in Pisces in my eclipse video on YouTube. If you haven't watched that, I definitely recommend that. But if you are just joining and popping in and haven't watched that, we're still going to articulate this. So Saturn goes retrograde back into Pisces on the 1st. So we're looking at September 1st here. And with that being said, this is rehashing some of the deeper lessons that are present within the Piscean realm. And this is very interesting because Pisces energy is what we're leaning into with this eclipse season. This is kind of the theme. And so the fact that Saturn's moving back here into Pisces, it's deepening into this spiritual discipline. And I wrote about it in my newsletter. So if you haven't checked that out, it should be in your inbox, by the way. I wrote a whole thing that went live this morning about eclipse season because the fact that Saturn's moving back into Pisces is very linked to this eclipse season. I wanted to pull up the exact dates of Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn has been in Pisces from March 7th, 2023 to May 24th of this year, and then it moved into Aries, and then it retrograded in Aries and back into Pisces. So that's a lot of words. Hello, Millie Bobby Brown. You think I look like her? That's so sick. Let's go. I'll take it. Saturn in Pisces. This is like wrapping up some really, really deep lessons that we've been learning about spiritual discipline. For those, I don't want to like, no, that's not the direction I want to go with it. There's this thing about Pisces that it has no boundaries. So when Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces, it really brings in those structural pieces that we need to actually evolve our spiritual beliefs. Okay? So I think you look like an evolutionary astrologer. Thank you. I am one. That's me, an evolutionary astrologer. I feel, how do I want to articulate this? Because it's pretty interesting. We've been dancing precariously on the axis between Pisces and Aries since the beginning of this year. And I find it very interesting because that is literally the energetic birth canal. It's like the phase of death before we enter into rebirth. And so it's kind of this liminal space that we've all been residing in for a while now, right? I know a good chunk of you guys can agree to that. So Saturn moving back into Pisces, it's really wrapping up a lot of old spiritual energy. It's also offering the opportunity for those people, because Saturn moving into Aries really sparked a lot of awakenings for a lot of people. It's because Saturn's been with Neptune, and so a lot of people really open themselves up to new spiritual pathways. Saturn moving back into Pisces is like creating a very, very solid energetic container for people to actually move into grounding in their spiritual practice. The thing about Saturn is it's discipline, it's dedication, it's actually taking the day-to-day steps to hone in on your craft. And in Pisces, Pisces doesn't want to be contained, but without a container, there's nothing, right? It's sort of that energetic of masculine and feminine. You know, they both need each other. And so I really have articulated Saturn as kind of like the chalice. It's like the holy grail. It's holding the container for the water to exist in, because without the container, the water just dissolves into nothing. And, you know, without the water, the cup has no purpose. So this Saturn retrograde is going to come into play with that solar eclipse that's happening on the 21st more closely. But there's this sort of like, the way it feels like energetically sharpening the sword sort of energy. It's like preparation. It's like closing up final chapters. And so I want you guys to think back to March 7th, 2023, and then into May 2025. Like, what was happening? What's been those lessons? Where's Pisces in your chart? What things are finalizing? You're in the desert? What? Yeah. So Saturn's really kind of just coming in to wrap up things. For anybody who has Saturn natally in Pisces, this is sort of like closing out those Saturn return lessons, really closing the door on those chapters and really inviting you into new spaces. And Saturn's going to be in Pisces until February 13th of 2026. So there's this energetic node that's happening right now because all these planets are retrograding. Like I said, Uranus is going to be retrograding as well. We got a glimpse this summer at the future energy because all of the outer planets moved into new signs and then they're going to retrograde back into those old signs. So we're really like looking at the things that need to close and end. So it's like really closing the door energetically. So I'm the bridge, I'm the threshold. So there's some potency happening here. Yeah. Anything else I want to talk about? The Saturn in Pisces. A lot of this is tag yourself. I'm just like the 3 dots up over here. Hello! You made an account. Let's go. Yippee! Welcome. Hi, Dirk. Thanks for the likes. I appreciate it. So think of things wrapping up with Saturn moving into Pisces. It's like, and I find it so, this is where astrology really just tickles my brain in the right way, because Saturn's moving retrograde and moving back into Pisces at the time that we're having eclipses within the axis of Pisces and Virgo. Like, what? So it's really wrapping up these old cycles. Hi, Catherine. Welcome. Hi, Heather. So it's very, very interesting. Also, I don't even want to talk about that here. That could be a whole different video. I'm not going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and jump into the next thing to talk about. All right, let me go ahead and clear this. So jumping a day ahead, watching Mercury here on the 2nd, so September 2nd. And by the way, my TikTok viewers, I'm live on Twitch as well. I'm sharing my screen and showing everything. So if you're a visual learner, I definitely recommend jumping over to Twitch. And if you have Prime, like Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free to me and I get money and we both win. Anyways, just a little shameless plug there. So I like the NSA is thinking about me a lot today. Thank you. I'm doing okay. I'm doing my best. You start classes the 2nd. That's exciting. Oh, that's perfect. With Mercury moving into Virgo, that's gonna be like nice. Very, very nice. I figured it was you. I figured it was you, Wish. Like, I like the style of the name. I was like, but there was another person on TikTok that was like, I'm jumping over to Twitch. And so I was like, maybe that's you. But then I was like, no. You're hopping over, Dirk? Okay, cool. We'll see ya. Or hopping, or that's hoping. Sorry, I can't read clearly. Let's go. I love it. I'm doing okay. We're doing our best. So on September, oh, your birthday's coming up, huh? September 2nd, Mercury moves into Virgo. Yippee! This is great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've done enough crying today. Yay! Frick yeah, dude. I've got a whole arsenal of friends that do tarot readings now. Gosh. It is going to be a better year, Dirk. Think it and so it shall be. Your thoughts create your reality. Mercury moving into Virgo on the 2nd. This is really, really beautiful because of the fact that Mercury is ruled by Virgo. It's ruled by Virgo and Gemini. So the fact that Mercury is back in its home sign, beautiful. This just gives us closer access to communication. For those of you who are ruled by Mercury, that would be my Virgo risings and Gemini risings. Let's go. This is going to be great. Oh, I have cat hair on my mouth. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, you did that. Ew. Gross. Don't see the comments. Oh, so I'm also live on Twitch, Dirk. So I'm not just live here on TikTok, I'm also live on Twitch. And so if you go to the link in my bio, you can jump over to Twitch and there's definitely more chatters over there if you want to. Hi, Charles. Welcome. Hey, Anne. Welcome. We're talking about the astrology for the week ahead. That's exactly what I didn't want to talk about, Dirk, was out of bounds Pluto. I was like, that's a whole different thing that I don't want to talk about. Yeah, that's a whole thing. So TLDR for people who are like, what the heck am I talking about? Pluto's out of bounds. That means it's out of like the 23-degree range that it can be from the sun, which like creates a little bit level of chaos. A lot of people are equating it to like mass chaos and stuff like that. I'm not here to fear monger people. That's not what I'm here for. What kind of astrology do? I am an evolutionary astrologer. So I talk about the different transits from a perspective of opportunities and potentials, giving people the opportunity to step into those if they wish. And then as far as like how I do readings, it's from that evolutionary lens as well. Super great question. Yeah. Pluto out of bounds is a whole different like can of worms, and there's enough astrologers on different platforms that are like yapping about that. I'm not going to throw my 2 cents in there because realistically, like, we're already on a trajectory right now that it's definitely point. What are the eclipses happening soon? Yes, we're going to be talking about that. I actually shared, if you haven't checked your email in, I shared a whole post about that. I shared a whole newsletter on the eclipses and eclipse season. I also created a guide for eclipse season. So if you're like wanting extra support, that's linked to my bio as well. It felt really present to like help hold you guys through that. So the eclipses are happening on September 7th, we have a lunar eclipse, and then on September 21st, we have a solar eclipse. And as far as are they happening in the northern hemisphere, I don't believe so. I don't look at where they're crossing over. I'm not into the like locational astrology as far as like astrocartography. But I can do a quick Google for you if you'd like. I know that yeah, it's looking like they're crossing over in Europe and also Japan, potentially, if I'm looking at the correct thing there. So we won't be able to see them here. Hello, welcome. Yeah, for sure, Charles. I appreciate the ask. Okay, anything else about Mercury moving into Virgo other than the practical facts of just like really honing into the fact that like, thank you for the follow, Catherine. Welcome. Yay. Yay. I love streaming on Twitch. It's way, way better. Not gonna lie. Sorry, TikTok. So other facts about Mercury moving into Gemini, really, it opens communication a lot more. It's very connected to the nervous system, so you may be more in alignment with your body and what your body's telling you. There's definitely more of a focus on being more analytical. Your mind, especially after the Mercury retrograde that we had, like it's probably going to feel really fresh and more inspiration towards taking more mental action on the things that you want to do, which leads into physical actions because Virgo is very practical and wants to take tangible action. So tragic for NA astrologers, but we did get that. Yeah, we did get that happening. What else do I want to talk about Mercury? I love Mercury. I'm biased. I'm ruled by Mercury. I'm a Virgo rising, so love this guy here. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and jump ahead. Let's see what's happening next. So with Mercury moving into Virgo, it's going to be creating this square to Uranus and Gemini. It'll definitely be exact, like literally it's happening. Like Mercury's freaking going so fast right now. It's already at 2 degrees within a day. So we can see here that Mercury is going to be squaring Uranus. Yay! So this creates a very interesting dichotomy. Anything in astrology about pain flaring up? I thought I heard somewhere recently with eclipses. I don't do medicinal astrology. I have this really cool modern medical astrology book that I've not actually like read into. I think that's a very interesting. Oh, thanks for the follow, Catherine. I appreciate it. Eclipses are just really, really potent points. Very potent points of potential. And so there's a lot of energetic. It's like it's like new moons and full moons on steroid is the sort of energy of eclipses. And then they really kind of catalyze different things. With it being in Virgo, the sun being in Virgo, I could definitely see that there's some more like active nervous system stuff and working through past tension. Aww. Thanks, Tinglet. Wow. So many likes and loves and hearts and nice things. Wow, I feel so loved. So I could definitely see that. a lot of these things, it depends on where it's transiting in your chart to be more specific, because like saying pain flaring up, that's a really broad general thing to talk about for everybody. So I'd look at your second house and your sixth house for sort of bodily things happening, specifically, yeah, I guess second and sixth house, because your second house rules over your body and the sixth house is your nervous system. So I'm pretty sure Uranus is in your sixth house right now. Let's go, Tanglet, my number one simp. So it's definitely personal. I think it's interesting that some astrologers will just like broadly say things. I like saw a video of an astrologer who was like using fear with these eclipses, and I'm like, why? What does that do for anybody? I just can't get on board with that train personally. So on the 3rd, we're going to be having Mercury squaring Uranus. And so Mercury is our sign of communication. Yeah, of course, Harmony. And I don't want to like dismiss, like if you are having pain flare up, it might be because your nervous system's feeling more active with that Uranus and Gemini, or the fact that we are in Virgo season. It really brings our attention to our mind, body, spirit alignment. A lot of anxious energy can be a symptom of Mercury moving into Virgo, the sun being in Virgo, if it's not directed. Yeah, nervous system related. Like if it doesn't have an outlet, that's where like maybe going on walks, you know, soft stretching, noticing if your thoughts are getting stuck in the head versus like where it's at in the body. So there's a lot of knowledge that comes with this. Guys, holy shit, it's Sunday. Where did this week go? I don't even... Yeah. Hey, Bobby. I am super cool. How's Costa Rica? Or how was Costa Rica? By the way, Bobby's looking for a wife, but he won't tell me what kind of wife he wants because, you know, he's too afraid to actually admit what he wants. And yeah, so definitely let me know so I can help you wife hunt. Just kidding. I'm glad it's cool. I love Costa Rica. So again, tuning back into the astrology. Mercury squaring Uranus creates this very interesting tension point because Uranus is the higher octave of the mind. So Mercury is like that lower octave, like day-to-day mental thoughts. And Uranus speaks of like the higher mind. It's sort of this higher evolution of it. So tapped into the higher realms, more higher chakra related sort of energy is what I'm thinking of. So when they're squaring, there's like this battle between practicality and then this like these downloads that have been coming in with Uranus in Gemini. I'm sure some of y'all have been feeling those like instant thought alignments that have been happening. There's a lot of tension here, and it's funny because they're both in like Uranus is in the sign that Mercury rules. Bobby is, who knows? I don't even know where you're at, Bobby. Oh, Tasia, check out Bobby's account. Like, click on his name, and he streams RuneScape. He's a RuneScape. Oh, yeah, and he does, like, programming. Minecraft games, right? That's what you do? You wish... Get a farm. To wrap up, oh shit, thanks for the follow, Water Bear. Yay, I saw you popping in and out of the live stream, so I'm glad you're jumping over here on Twitch. It's a lot better, right? Right? It just is nice. Tasha will give you a farm. Hi Victoria, welcome. So what else do I want to talk about this square that's happening here? It's a lot of irritating energy because there's sort of this energy with Uranus and Gemini that's like, inviting in just like this light curiosity and just like keeping the headspace in this healthy realm, where Mercury in Virgo really wants to just stay practical and be like, the thing about Virgo energy is it tends to be very, very like analytical and like by the books, and Uranus and Gemini is challenging that because it's showing the opportunity of new healthier thought processes that take up less energy. It's kind of like Uranus and Gemini is like this system upgrade. It's like upgrading from like Windows 8 to Windows 11, and it's like Mercury in Virgo is very much like operating on an old operating system, and then Uranus and Gemini is like, just upgrade. And so there's just going to be this tension point until you get through that. 6 bushels of sugar cane. Oh my God. So there's this like tension point between the mind realm that's going to be happening on the 3rd. All right, let's go ahead and jump ahead. Thank you guys for joining me over on Twitch. It really means a lot. I love streaming on Twitch because it's just more practical. I have a lot more knowledge with using the Twitch interface. Actually, the other day, Twitch sent me like a survey that they gave me money for taking. So, oh God, I have nerds in my chat. Stop it. What else is happening? So, on Thursday, wow, each day we kind of have like a tension point happening. On Thursday, we have Jupiter is going to be squaring Mars and Libra. So again, those 90-degree angles just really, really like create tension. And like just this irritation. I think of it like the tectonic plates moving. It's like they both like, it's either they push up and a mountain happens or one slides over and there's earthquake. Like it's just going to create things, right? Oh, I'm not a board game girly. I'd play board games for you guys. So we have Mars in Libra, which is so funny to me. I always giggle at Mars in Libra because it's like stripping the warrior of its like actual like primal desire to fight and sticking them in the boardroom and is like, just make logical decisions. Very strange. Hi Manon, welcome. So it's this really, really strange energy, right? Hi Diamond, welcome. So when it's squaring Jupiter and Cancer just wants to be like cozy and comfortable and just like in their emotions and in their soft feelings. But the square to Mars and Libra, it's like, hey, like we need a plan. We need a game plan. We need to like actually like look at where we want to go and like have a, it's really reminding me of what just happened today with my mom, as we were like looking for my cat outside, like her confronting this dog and what happened between her and her husband, because her husband was definitely that Mars and Libra energy where it was like, why didn't you come prepared? Like, why didn't you have all the things? Like, you should always like be prepared and all these things, and didn't know how to soften. And that Jupiter in Cancer is like, I just want to be held. Like, I just want to like soften into love, and instead of like be logical, which that, and there's logic around communication with connections. A Libra rules over relationships. That can be platonic, that can be romantic. So it's like wherever relationship is within your life, like this is coming to a tension point with Jupiter and Cancer. And the thing is, like, I always giggle because like, can you be in tension with like Jupiter in Cancer? I don't know, because like it's so just soft and squishy, but it's like, hey, that's gonna get you, like, if we were to put Jupiter and Cancer on the battlefield, it'd get freaking destroyed in a second. And that's like what Mars and Libra is really trying to point at. Like, hey, like, it's okay to have feelings, but like at a certain point, you have to have a level of discernment with emotions and understanding where, like, if you're always going into the extreme of your emotions, you're going to get lost in that storm. And then Jupiter in Cancer saying to Mars in Libra, like, just, you can't always go into the battle with 100% logic. You have to navigate the emotions that come up. You have to, like, feel deeply too. So it's not one's right or the other's right, but there's this tension point between the two that's happening here. Questions, comments, concerns from my viewers? Well, Catan is a board game too, but it's also online. Oh my gosh, Shakira is in my live? Welcome. Do animals have horoscopes? You mean like placements? Yes. If you know their birth time. Hi, welcome. Just a heads up, I'm also streaming on Twitch, so if you're joining me on TikTok and you're like, what are you talking about? We're talking about the astrology for the week ahead, and on Twitch, I'm sharing my whole screen. We're looking at the chart. TikTok gets mad at me. It won't let me share my screen. I'm doing really well, I think. Actually, that's a lie. It's been a really rough week. I think I just went autopilot there, so I'm gonna take ownership of that. I'm in the trenches right now. So, yeah. How are you? Hello, welcome, Charlene. It'll be online for us, so it won't feel like a board game. Oh, but it's like a strategy game, right? I can't do strategy. Yay, I'm glad, Shakira. Hi, welcome. Just a heads up, I am sharing my screen over on Twitch, so if you guys have a Twitch account, I definitely recommend jumping over to Twitch so you can see what I'm sharing. Let's see, what else is happening? Oh, yay. So, yeah, on the 6th, on September 6th, Uranus stations a retrograde. It's late at night on the 5th, but on the 6th we'll be feeling it. Yo. It's so interesting. The astrology of this summer has been so interesting because we had Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto all in new signs, and we got this like overwhelming, like literally the summer felt so different, didn't it? Like, it's like, what the hell is happening? And now we're having all these planets retrograde back into their previous signs. So Uranus is stationing retrograde on September 5th, late at night. What's going on with love? I don't know. I'm in love. That's all I know. Okay. Oh no, I don't really, do I talk about love? I don't know. Yup, like a dream. Yes. Definitely feels like Greece when they were like, summer was so different. Yeah. Hey, Cole. You've been mentioned. Everybody at Squawknado in the chat, please. Love is scary to me. I need to tap into that fair. Love is... I just heard love is a battlefield. Love is a battlefield. So, don't be scared of love. Everybody out at Squawknado. Squawk. Hey. Hello. Uranus stationing retrograde. So we really got this glimpse when Uranus moved into Gemini of just sort of this mental upload, this mental energy that kind of feels a little crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So with Uranus stationing retrograde, it's really pulling us into watching the thoughts, watching those higher downloads that have been coming in, those like higher thoughts where it's just like, where the hell did this thought come from? That is that Uranus and Gemini energy, and it usually comes quickly, like flashes of insight. So with Uranus stationing retrograde, all that energy and especially external things happening, like things coming in externally, it's going to be more of an internal process. I have a full video on my YouTube about Uranus and Gemini, so if you're wondering like, how is Uranus and Gemini affecting me? You can watch that on my YouTube. I loved making that video. That was super fun. Yeah, so it's going to really pull this energy inwards. And as we can see down here at the bottom, we're looking at Uranus here. Oh, I just like totally just drew over it. We're looking at it. It's at 1 degree of Gemini, right? So that means it's going to be moving back into Taurus really, really soon. And that's going to really pull in those Taurian themes that have been happening for the last... How many years has it been? It's been like 8 years, right? I think so. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember the exact dates of Uranus and Taurus, but it's going to pull those back in, and then Uranus will be back into Taurus, and then we'll stay there until around next summer, and then we'll move back into Gemini. So lots of like reversal energy happening with Saturn moving back into Pisces. Uranus is retrograding in Gemini. So I find it so interesting because this is all setting us up for eclipse season. So that's my next subject to talk about. Next thing is on the 7th, as a Taurus, the last 8 years can go back. Me also as a Taurus, it's chill. But I'm an early degree Taurus, so I'm cool. So, were you yelling at me, buddy? Was that you? So, on the 7th, as you can see, I'm clicking through here. Hi, Papa. Cool as heck. Oh, look at this guy. Nice guy. Nice guys finish last. Okay, sorry, I'm doing a lot of clicking through here. I'm trying to get this at the exact moment. Yeah, this is my boy. So, on September 7th, we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces happening at 15 degrees. If you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube or my newsletter, it's time. I'm going to be sending out a newsletter on this eclipse specifically. I sent one out today, by the way. You can read it in my Substack if you want to. It's all linked in my bio, and then for those of you who are on Twitch, I just sent that there. That has all my stuff. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube or sign up for my newsletter, it's totally free. Yeah. Whoa! Thanks for the follow. Yippee! Welcome. So it's funny. I feel like I'm a broken record with this eclipse season because I just shared a video about eclipse season. I just wrote a newsletter last night about this eclipse season. It's like there's a lot happening. Sorry, my brain just short-circuited because it's been a lot of information. So I'm not going to go in too much detail about the eclipse here because I really want to save that for the video and the specific newsletter that I'm going to be sending out on this. So just keep your eyes peeled on my newsletter for that and on my YouTube for that. But this is just kind of this, like, this is when it's starting. I see a lot of people putting a big emphasis on eclipse season, and you know, a part of me wants to read like some of the things that I wrote in my newsletter. Pew. If you guys want to read it, I'll link it here. Also pop that there. I don't know if I can send links, and yeah, can you even click that? I don't even know if you can click it, but this is where I wrote all about it. There was a specific part that was coming to mind. Oh yeah, with the like with the sort of like big deal energy. There's a section in it that I called Ready or Not. And what I wrote is, eclipses are not ordinary lunations. They're catalysts. Events that collapse time and rearrange reality. What might normally unfold slowly over months or years can shift in a single day, in a single breath. They're accelerators of fate, shaking loose what no longer belongs and fast-tracking us into new territory. Fun? Scary? Both. This is why eclipses aren't the best time to set intentions or try to manifest. The energy is too wild, too beyond our control. Instead, eclipses invite us into the posture of witnessing. To show up, to sit with what's surfacing, to trust what's leaving and what was never meant to stay, and what's arriving is already in alignment. In my video, I spoke about eclipses as moments. Hey, buddy, that's my journal. Hey, come here. Come here. He's very angry. I haven't given him dinner yet. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come here. So, okay. Yeah. In my video, I spoke about moments where the universe grabs the reins. The South Node reveals our known patterns, and the North Node pulls us forward into evolution. Hi, Angela. The axis of Virgo and Pisces sharpens the story. Virgo's impulse to control, critique, what the frick? Critique and perfect, versus Pisces' call to dissolve into surrender, trust, and flow. And that's like the deeper energy that's happening here. We have the North Node in Pisces right now. How's it going? Happy to see you here. This North Node in Pisces, so the nodes shifted signs earlier this year, around January, mid-January. And the North Node moving into Pisces is such a different feeling because it really is about stepping into deeper divine trust with something you can't see. So whatever form of spirituality that takes for you, that's yours. You know, it's definitely a personal experience. Hello, Nora. Welcome. The South Node in Virgo has been really pulling us at looking at where we're gripping way too tightly at control, at, you know, trying to perfect ourselves, at trying to make things fit in molds that don't work anymore. The thing that I equated it to within my YouTube video that I already shared, yay! Oh my gosh, Angela, that means so much. For those of you who are watching on Twitch, Angela said, watch your video. I watched your video on YouTube today and I was just like, and it's all the mind blown emojis, right? It was a very interesting thing to try to articulate because the thing about Pisces is there's not words for the Piscean energy because it's not verbal. It's not mental. It's a feeling. It's like, how do you articulate such a depth of trust, such a depth of surrender? And that's what we're being pulled into. I created this whole guide the other night. I literally was sitting with my boyfriend and perfecting it. I was like, oh, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? Because it means a lot to me to have something, because there's so much fear I see in the astrology community that people put out there about eclipses. They're like, buckle up, your whole and I'm like, chill chill. Yes, there is big energy, and there's nothing you can do except surrender with this one. So I created this whole 2-week guide. Each day I give you journal prompts. Each day I give you something to do, to just sit with yourself, to sit in witnessing, to see what is coming up, what is surfacing. So I'm gonna link it to you guys in the chat here. And for those of you who are on TikTok, it's linked in my bio if you want to grab that. Let me hi, just a little slash forever. Cool, let me grab that here. And I'm excited to do it myself, this guide, because it really is like that energy of showing up each day for yourself. And that was the whole goal of it. But this eclipse is like, I think I spoke to it in so many, I don't even know where I'm sharing things anymore, because I'm just sharing so much online now, like sharing here on TikTok, sharing on YouTube, just like basically info dumping on all of you guys about the different energetics that are present. And it's almost like the way it's been feeling, especially with the South Node in Virgo, is that things have been just shaken up, where it's like we're being seen. And I know for a lot of you, those like old mental patterns have been surfacing so much, where it's like, whoa, I didn't know that I had those subconscious thoughts. I didn't know how actually intense my internal dialogue was. Hold on. My cat's literally climbed up the entire screen door. Hey! He's now stuck up there. How's that working for you, buddy? The sound of it is what bugs me the most. He's like trying to get the door to open, but it's shut. Anyways, this South Node in Virgo is really shaking things to the surface. It's like bringing up those old thought patterns, those old things, so we can catalyze them. And the catalyzation, is that a word? I don't know. Is to give it to God. Whatever modality that is for you. God, universe, source, whatever it is. It's like, can you actually like surrender the intensity? Can you surrender the depth of feeling? And what's interesting, like I said, Saturn's retrograded back into Pisces, and that's a key player here, because are you doing it in a way that is not spiritually bypassing things? And that's a very interesting dynamic, because the North Node in Pisces really wants a deeper connection with your beliefs, with spirit, whatever that is for you, but not in a way that is like escapism. So any false illusions with this eclipse are breaking away. I had to go and sit amongst the trees today after watching it. Your mind was just blown. So the entire day I've been really pondering. Ooh, I love that. I would love, like, if you feel called to share, like, what came up for you as far as, like, thoughts and that pondering. Because, like, it is a very, like, and I'm getting, like, body chills as I think about it. Like, it is a very beautiful energy. But it's, like, that Virgonian energy that we're in is, like, really trying to make sense of it in a logical way. But there's no logic with it. And so I see Saturn retrograding back into Pisces as a really supportive thing that's bringing us into resting into a new container. It's like building a new spiritual foundation is coming up. So any practices that haven't been supportive or that have made you, have had you escaping your reality by trusting them, in the way of like, I'm just gonna, you know, instead of taking action on my dreams, I'm just gonna sit and meditate on it all the time, instead of actually seeing like, oh, spirit actually was pointing me towards taking action. So there's like this back and forth dynamic of like really understanding what is this new container, what is Saturn and Pisces wanting to bring towards me. So that's a lot of transits for the week. I'm gonna just quickly recap them. So again, what is happening on Monday, September 1st, Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces. On the 2nd, Mercury moves into Virgo. On the 3rd, Mercury squares Uranus. On the 4th, Mars squares Jupiter. On Friday, the 5th, Uranus stations retrograde in Gemini. And then on Sunday, the 7th, we have that full moon in Pisces, aka a lunar eclipse. So that's a lot of stuff that's happening. I'm not gonna lie. If you're not yet